That'll work. All right, welcome to the Straight Red Card. Did you watch the Soccer OG show?
I did not
today.
watch the show, no.
I think it was yesterday's show. He's wearing an Iron Maiden shirt. I haven't seen that for a long time. And then he mentioned at the very end that he's going very soon going to a Dokken reunion show. Dokken? I haven't heard that name since like the 80s, the late 80s. I bet you don't even know who Dokken is.
No.
Sort of a poppy heavy metal band. And then, of course, Iron Maiden were not a poppy. I mean, maybe they covered some weird shit. Iron Maiden covered some weird shit. You know, they did Rime of the Ancient Mariner, because Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer, is like really into like poetry and literature.
Cock of the walk.
What?
Sorry, you said Bruce Dickinson. I said the cock of the walk. I've got a fever. The only prescription is more cowbell.
Ding, 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 dunk, dunk, dunk. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. Bruce was a weird guy, so you know.
I know. Now I'm wondering if that's who that actually was now, and that SNL skit.
No, I don't know. No, I don't think so. But Bruce Dickinson, I bet you don't even know who Iron Maiden is, do you? That's like 10 years before your time.
Yeah, no, I know what I mean. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know can you name a single song?
I was right.
Was it? Is he the more cowbell guy?
He's a more well, he's the guy that's like, I need more cowbell. Yeah. Well, it's Christopher Walken doing Bruce Dickinson.
I did not know that. Very weird. I fucking love Christopher Walken. There was that really bad joke. You remember that back in like high school? What's the opposite of Christopher Walken? Christopher Reeves, I think, was the joke. Because he was the Superman guy who got paralyzed from the waist down.
Not walking. I gotcha.
Yeah. What a mean joke that was. I mean, I don't remember it even being that funny. But I thought, man, that's mean. I guess the guy fell off the first Superman. He fell off his horse and was paralyzed from the neck down, actually, if I remember right. Yeah. Because he was all tubed up and he died not that long ago, didn't he? Christopher Reeves? He's not around.
Oh, I don't have time to Google that.
All right, we won't. Let's just get to the weekend report. Before this gets out of hand. It already is out of hand. Let's start with Saturday. Since we already did Friday in the last show, we don't need to do Friday again. But Conrad went 60 in a loss for Marseille. So it looks like, you know, he's starting kind of regularly. It's not playing a whole lot of the game, but he's getting a lot more playing time. Weah has an injury. He like stubbed his toe or something. No, it's a muscle injury. EPB, I'm starting to think, and I can't find any reports, Brett, but EPB has got to be injured. He's got to be. He's never in the 18. Either he's injured or he is really bad. It's one of the two, because he never gets any playing time and he's never even in the 18. So
could it be an attitude issue? But I really don't know.
I don't think he's ever had that.
I've never heard of any stories behind him. So
I mean, there was that thing at SKC while he was there when he was kind of pissy whenever he didn't play. But, you know, I haven't heard of any of that since he left. But yeah, if he's not playing because he's not good enough, this is the worst loan ever. I mean, it's right up there with some of the worst transfers ever, like Ethan Horvath to Nottingham Forest. Des went 90, so that's nice to know. Xavi will play him and all that. Xavi doesn't rate him. Stuff is BS. Hoppy still injured. Pulisic 20 in a loss. I don't know if you saw that one this weekend, but not great. I mean, the whole team wasn't great, so it wasn't just Pulisic.
Sure.
Dwayne Holmes, I believe, is injured. Matthew Olasunde, back from his injury for Preston North End, got 80 minutes. Unfortunately, it wasn't a loss. Alex Mighton and Ethan Horvath rode pine right next to each other, kept each other warm for the whole 90 at Nottingham Forest. What a horrible, horrible move by Ethan Horvath. I cannot believe he is riding pine in the championship.
Filippo brought that up too. on his recap. He's like, man, I don't understand the move from one bench to another. If you're gonna do that, you might as well just come back to MLS or come to MLS, I guess, not back.
Again, we've talked about Ethan Horvath being a supremely nice guy, and I think that works against him. I think, if he went there and he was kind of bitchy and moany and demanded more playing time, he'd get more. I think he'd get more opportunities. But right now, Nottingham Forest are sort of on this roll, and they've had some good performances recently, and I don't think he's going to get a shot as long as that continues. Man, Greuther Fürth, worst Bundesliga team to ever play in the Bundesliga. So bad. Julian Green is now a bench warmer. So those of you who keep talking about Julian Green should have been called up recently, no, he's not playing.
I'm glad you added the recently there because we were saying that.
I know we were, but people are just more recently said we saw somebody on Twitter who was like, Julian Green isn't getting called up because Berhalter's a racist. No, he's not getting called up to play for his own club team at this point. So, I mean, if you want to talk about bringing somebody in who could play that sort of more creative role, then now you're looking at Timothy Tillman because he's now starting and going 90 in huge, massive losses for Greuther Fürth. At this point, I think Greuther Fürth are just like, fuck, this season's already over. Let's play the kids. Chris Richards, 90 in a win. Had a blooper, but outside of that, I thought he
pretty solid game outside of that from what I saw.
Timothy Chandler, another 80 in a loss. Not in another loss, but another 80 for Timothy. He's playing so much more this season. It's kind of cool. Brooks, 45 in a loss for Wolfsburg. He did not play well. Reyna is still injured, but he is he's training with the team, so that's good news. Brian Reynolds in the 18, no surprise, didn't play for Roma. De La Torre, another 90 in, another loss for Heracles. Christian Ramirez in Scotland, 90 in a win. He got 2 goals. I think that's like 8 or 9 goals this season for him, or somewhere around there in the Scottish Premiership. Here's a guy who couldn't play in MLS. No one would play him. And yet he's gone to Scotland and really been, their best attacking player. So what does that tell you?
Does that tell us more about MLS decisions, or does it tell us more about the quality in Scotland?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like Christian Ramirez didn't get a lot of, he got opportunities in MLS his last few, when he left Minnesota, went to LA, and then he ended up at Houston. But LA and Houston, they gave him opportunities. He didn't perform. They stopped playing him. I don't know. I think that says that, well, we've said it before about the Scottish Premier League. You've got Celtic, you've got Rangers, and then this is generally, not every year is it like this, but yes, Rangers, Celtic, and maybe one other team usually tries to stick its dick out, but it always gets whacked usually. So, and when I mean whacked, I mean like with a stick.
And they're okay with that. Oh, sorry.
Aronson, 30 in a win. Again, if Aronson's not scoring and he's not assisting, I'm not happy. Joe Effort, down there for Vaslin Beveren in the 2nd division in Belgium, 90 and a goal in a loss. And then Jacob Montes, his teammate, went 10. Then we got Gooch, 90 tie. Who cares? Nico Carrera is in the 18 for Holstein Kiel. That's good news. That's a step up for him. Jalen Hawkins went 88 for Ingolstadt in a tie. What's going on there? Now they're starting him. He and Justin Butler used to never even get playing time in this team. So maybe they're giving up for the season. Ryan Malone, 90 for Hansa Rostock. And that's in Bundesliga 2. Brian Kao was in the 18 for Victoria Berlin, did not play. Again, this is getting to be a real concern because Brian Kao was very highly touted. And here he is way down in the lower regions of German soccer, and he's not getting any PT. Not good. Not a good sign at all. Terrence Boyd, 90 for Hallisher. Leonard Maloney, 90 for Dortmund 2. Mail Corbos, 60. And a red card. Good for you, Mail. You get in there. You get in there and get that.
You do that, yeah.
Hell yeah. Might as well. You're down there in 3 Bundesliga. Get those red cards. In a loss, Ken Gibson, 90. And his teammate, Mo Diakite, 60 for Sonnenhof. In another loss. Boy, they're going downhill. Adam Lengus, 80 for RW Oberhausen. Another new name. A new name. Never seen this kid before in my life. He's 19. His name is Creighton Braun. He played 20 for Bonner SC down there, I think. Regionally.
How do you spell that?
Braun. Braun. Creighton Braun.
No. The team.
Oh, Bonner SC is just soccer club.
Just curious.
I don't know what the SC stands for. They don't say soccer in Germany. Maybe they do now that Creighton's there. Who knows? I don't know much about Bonner SC. It's a very small team. Novakovic in the 18, the guy that came in for him last game and scored all those goals, took his starting spot. So he's back to riding pine. Reggie Cannon in the 18, it must be the most horrible season for him ever in his life. Sebastian Soto did not dress for Porto 2. I don't know if he stubbed his toe, but I know he's got other issues there because even when he's in the 18, they barely play him. PFOC 45 in a loss. Noah Jones 10 for Ville in the lower Swiss division. Yedlin 90 in a tie for Galatasaray. Henry Wingo 45 for Ferencvaros in a tie. Musa 10 minutes in a win. Sargent 20 in a loss. Oh, he missed a sitter, Brett.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he did. This is one of those ones where you miss the sitter and then it hits your planting foot. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what to do at this point. We supported this kid for so long, and he is such a hard worker. But remember when he started out at Werder Bremen, he started out scoring first game. He was there. And as a young kid, they brought him in, he scores. And yeah, he had an accident goal too, even at one point. He can't even get accident goals at this point. Like, from a cross that like accidentally glances off his head and goes into the corner of the goal. Or let's say there's a scramble in the box and the ball just ends up at his feet. Like kind of this one did. Can't put that away. It's looking like Josie right now. And it's really depressing.
I'm starting to fall into Berlin's camp on this. Maybe or winger, maybe striker just isn't his bag anymore at this level. Maybe he just needs to, if he's going to put in that hard work and the fight and the grit, maybe he needs to be in a more central location, like whether it's the outside wings playing those crosses, or maybe he's going to be playing as like a box-to-box 8 or something. I don't know. I know it's a change of position. That's going to be tough for him. But, man, he needs to start finding the back of the net or he's going to fall into obscurity.
I mean, everybody at Norwich City needs to start finding the back of the net, frankly.
True,
but I mean, let's
also be fair. Norwich also missed like 8 chances that game.
Yeah.
One of Sargent was one of them. Yeah, it was a big miss. But I mean, there were just so many chances. That game, that scoreline was just unjust for the amount of chances that Norwich had. And Norwich looked pretty good.
Again, yeah, they are a different team.
Can't find the fucking back of the net to save their life.
It's like they're jinxed almost. It's like watching Josie at Sunderland again.
Fark it up.
Yeah. And they don't even have Farker to blame anymore. So Gio Caccini. Oh, by the way, we're on Sunday. Gio Caccini, 20 for Montpellier. Toljan, 45 and a tie. Busio and Tessman. This one sucked. First of all, both of them didn't start, which pissed me off. Second of all, they're up 3-0. And then they go on to lose 4-3 because Cesaroni gets this red card that's like ridiculous in the 60th minute. And they just collapse. They collapse. I mean, Busio was okay. I think that someone said he played sort of a 6 role. It didn't look like a 6 role to me, but looked more like sort of a flat 3/8 box to boxers to me in central midfield. But it really wasn't their fault that they lost. I mean, they were already going downhill when they came in to the game. They were already headed downhill fast. So I'm not going to blame them. But man, if you're Venezia, you cannot lose that kind of game.
No.
You can't be up 3-0 and lose 4-3. Oh,
not when you're battling relegation. You can't give those up. Exactly. You can't even give up a 3-0 lead for a tie. You can't even do that. That's losing 2 points.
It is.
No, it's absolutely horrid. And I didn't watch the game, but I went back and saw the highlights, and I saw the scoreline because I saw what people were posting about it before I even got around to watching the game, and I'm like, "Fuck, I'm not watching this."
Yeah,
and it's just like you see it, and you see Venezia go up 3-0 in like 26 minutes, and you're just like, that's just a brutal outcome. Brutal.
It is brutal. And here's my suggestion to the coach, the manager at Venezia, next time they're up 3-0. Shut it down. Park the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Play us a 5-5. Just shut it down, man.
Put in a 5-4-1. At least give yourself an opportunity to move forward if you need to.
All right.
At least apply pressure to the center backs. Let's put it that way.
All right. Well, needless to say, I would have shut it down, dude, because they needed that win. And well, that dumbass that got the red card screwed a lot of it up, but still, you could have played like a 5-4, right? Mm-hmm. And just bunkered the whole rest of the game. All right. McKennie's still injured. Keith Perry's still injured. CCV is starting to make a case for himself. Celtic won again. This is against Ian Harkes and Dundee United. They won the game, but he got the first assist, I believe. And I don't know. It's I don't know. With I guess McKenzie's now playing for Genk. We'll see how long that lasts. But I mean, if you're gonna call up McKenzie, maybe CCV deserves a look. Although I was never really sold on him and his feet. But I've watched some of the highlights, and some of his passing seems to have improved. I mean, against Dundee United, but there's that.
It's the problem we're facing in this situation is that we're looking at a 4 center back option, and we have Miles Robinson, who's not going anywhere.
Yep.
You've got Chris Richards, who's just making a name in the national team for himself.
Yep.
You got Zimmerman, who's probably not going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
You got it.
So that leaves that last spot. And guess there's one person that everybody brings up that we haven't mentioned yet.
Who's that?
Don Brooks.
Well, I mentioned him earlier because they lost. And
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the people who we mentioned those 3 names, and we haven't mentioned arguably one of our best center back options. Now, he hasn't been playing that great for us of late. We've talked about that.
Norwich Club recently.
So, but I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's an uphill battle. I know that we're already looking at we are already questioning McKenzie's inclusion over Brooks last window. It's just great for CCV to actually be doing well, but that would either require us to have already qualified to see him on the roster, or some injuries / bad form taken to effect.
Right.
So unfortunately I don't see it happening right now.
Probably not. But I mean, it is fascinating to see him blossom like this. Not that he was ever bad when he was playing in the championship, but he's really become the backbone of that back 4 for Celtic. So anyhow, Alan Sonora went 82 for Independiente. Scally went, unfortunately, the full 90 in a 6-0 blasting for Mönchengladbach. They got their asses kicked. I think they were down 5-0 before halftime. 5-0. And I think the only reason they didn't lose 10-0 is the other team was like, yeah, that's enough. We don't need to kill these guys any more than this. Sam Vines 90.
It's the ultimate meme of like, he's already dead.
Yeah,
the Simpsons meme.
No, I don't know it, but I mean, is that similar to beating a dead
Being a dead horse, yeah, more or less.
My Simpsons stuff is erratic. My knowledge of the Simpsons is erratic. I watched it, then I stopped watching it. Then I watched it.
Yeah, I don't have anything relevant for like the last 15 years. So
yeah, I mean, after a while, I just stopped watching. So there's that. I started watching more Giggity. All right.
Yeah.
Mackenzie, another 90 for Gank. Is this for real? Or is this plastic?
2 90s in a row?
We'll find out. We'll find out because one game he played for Lucimi, the other guy, other team game he played for the other guy. And then this last game that I'm talking about now, he played Lucimi and Mackenzie next to each other, which is quite interesting because usually it was Mackenzie fighting for the Lucimi spot, but maybe the other guy's kind of on his way out the door. Who knows? Kappas 10 for Braun being a loss. Jan George in the 18 didn't play for young Regensburg. Maurice Malone, who we still have to mention because he's still young, but not playing much for Heidenheim. He was in the 18. Dietz in the 18 for Freiburg 2. Mark Heider, 30 for Osnabrück. Evan Rotundo, 10 for Schalke's U19s, which is kind of sad. Like to see him get more time. Luca Fava, yes, it's a real guy. 5 minutes for Bochum's U19s. Somebody keep an eye on, though, because, Bochum's actually outperforming Leipzig right now. They're higher in the table in the Bundesliga than Leipzig. So Carver Miller in the 18 for Arminia Bielefeld's U19s. Suarez, 85 for Dorados in the lesser league in Mexico. Joaquin Hernandez, same thing, 80 for Atlanta. And then Haji Wright still injured. Tyler Boyd played 66 minutes. I'm sure he's regretting going to that team. They are awful. They are by far the worst team in the Turkish league. They're horrible. Florian Balogun, 90 for Arsenal's U23s and a loss to Everton's U23s. Marcel Costley, 90. Jillian the Jerker, 20 minutes for Waldorf Mannheim. Kevin Lankford, all of a sudden, not really playing that much more for Wiesbaden. I think his days of being a prospect for us are over. Sebastian Salcedo in the 18 for UNAM. And of course, he doesn't play and then they win. That's how it works.
That always works. Yeah.
Hey, there's a Richie Ledesma sighting for PSV2.
Hey-o.
Played 45, the last 45.
Call him up for January. Let's go.
He's got a long ways to go to catch up to Dante Seeley, who's pretty much a 90-minute guy for PSV2. He played 86. But they lost 2-3 to De Graafschap.
Some spacing. What position does Ledesma play? Do him and Seeley play competing spots?
No, because he came in for somebody else. But they can both play sort of the same positions. But usually Seeley's wide, and you can play Ledesma as a CAM too.
So that's where I was going to say. I know that with when Berhalter called in Ledesma, he played out left.
Yes.
So of course that plays into all of our creative attacking players, as they always get pushed into the wing.
Yes. So that's how we do it. We don't play a CAM.
That's how we roll.
We've mentioned this so many times right now. People are like, you guys are broken records, man.
Gotta be known.
Shaq Moore, 15, and he came in, got the assist that tied the game.
Yeah.
And then Chashu is back from injury, so he played 30 as well off the bench. And then the final player of this report is Jaboli Erayebi, went 60 in the second division in Turkey, and they are still in the promotion zone. And that is for Ankaragucu. I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm sure, because there's like an umlau over you, but it's kind of means something different, I think, in Turkish than it means in German. So I have no fucking clue. Okay, I think that's going to do it for this show. We're going to move on to the next show where we talk about Jesse Marsh's wonderful experience at Leipzig. All right, sleep well.